Hello, my name is Kendra Letcher, and today I'm going to talk to you about empathy and mental illness. To start off, it is important that you understand what empathy is. Empathy is understanding and sharing another person's experiences and emotions, and it is also the ability to share someone else's feelings. We are around mental illness more than we even realize. I think that it is very important to understand what mental illness is. Mental illness is a wide range of conditions that affect mood, thinking, and behavior. Below, I have listed some examples of mental illnesses. Some examples are major depression, anxiety, bipolar disorder, dementia, schizophrenia, obsessive compulsive disorder, autism, and post-traumatic stress disorder. Here's a picture that I have found on the internet, and I feel like this is a good photo to share because oftentimes we find out someone has a mental illness and we are very quick to judge. But it is important that we realize that they like to do the same type of things that we like to do. And it is important to be empathetic and understanding towards someone with a mental illness so that they can feel like they aren't being judged and that they can feel like they are accepted into society just like everybody else. So the next thing I'm going to talk to you about is what happens when there is no empathy in mentally ill people. It is really hard sometimes for mentally ill people to be empathetic. They have a hard time trying to figure out their own thoughts and feelings. They only think about themselves, yet they do not realize it. What happens when there is no empathy in mentally ill people is it's hard for them to think about others. It's hard for them to put others in their place because they don't know how to do that. Next thing I'm going to talk about is seropositive, which was discussed in the book The Science of Evil. Seropositive is found in people with autism. It is harder for these people to be empathetic towards others and even themselves. It is more based on patterns, rules, and cognition. They have a hard time being empathetic when it comes to following the rules and doing what they're supposed to be doing. Along with seropositive, there is also seronegative. Seronegative is also discussed in the book The Science of Evil. Seronegative is found in people with personality disorder or psychopaths or bipolar disorder. They can be empathetic, but most of the time they choose not to be. They have a hard time recognizing how they feel, which makes it hard to relate to others. When there is zero negative, it is really hard for people to understand how they feel. So therefore, they don't know how to understand how others feel. Based on the results in the article by Wai and Tiliopoulos, you could say that psychopaths have difficulty accurately detecting emotions or difficulty appropriately responding to emotions. They are unaware of how others feel. They are unsure of how to feel, therefore they do not respond at all. This is an example of empathy in mental illness. Being a psychopath is a mental illness and it is really hard for them to show emotion. Therefore, it is really important to be empathetic toward these people to try to get them to understand what empathy is to help them be more empathetic for themselves and toward others. It is important to discuss empathy toward mentally ill people. It is hard for people to be empathetic toward mentally ill people. People who are not mentally ill do not understand what they are going through a lot of the time. They don't think about how they feel. They think they act and think a certain way due to their mental illness only. Yet it is not their fault that this has happened to them. So therefore, you should remind yourself that they are people just like you and I. It is important to be empathetic to mentally ill people, and it is also important that we treat them the same as everyone else. It can help them become more empathetic towards others by you showing them empathy. By you showing them empathy, they can take what they learn from you and they can try to be more empathetic toward others as well. It can help them feel accepted, which is important because we want to make sure that mentally ill people feel like their thoughts and feelings matter the same as everyone else's. It can make them feel better about what they are going through. It can help us understand them better by listening to what they have to say and trying to understand what they are going through. It can help us understand how others think even when they are not ill. It can give us a better understanding of what is going on with a different type of person. It is important that we practice being more empathetic all the time, and there are many different ways to become more empathetic toward mentally ill people. Some of these ways are understanding how they feel, doing research on the mental illness, talking and getting to know them versus just assuming what they think and feel, actually taking what they say and understanding how they feel. And it is also very important that you stop and put yourself in their shoes and think about how you would feel if you were where they are. You would want to treat them the way you would want someone to treat you in this situation. It is also important that we help mentally ill people try to become more empathetic as well. There are many different ways to help them become more empathetic. Some of these ways are more classes on empathy and understanding others, counseling, talking to people about how they think and feel and how they can work on thinking and feeling toward other people, having groups with other people doing different things that involve teamwork and bonding so that they are understanding the thoughts of others and how they feel, and doing stuff by themselves and helping others when needed. It is important that they do stuff by themselves so that they can understand their own thoughts and feelings so that they can help others and understand their thoughts